What's up, everybody? It's your boy Renegade Dagger, and I'm back at it again with the sickest review to date. This time, the Hot Toys Avengers Age of Ultron Iron Man Mark 45, aka Tony Stark, aka the genius billionaire playboy philanthropist. Soak it all in. Let's do this. Alright, everybody, you guys know how I do things by now. I'm going to be rating this on the 4 categories: packaging, likeness, articulation, and the accessories. Get ready to soak in the awesomeness of the Iron Man Mark 45. Alright, everybody, let's get into this review. And like always, we're going to go to the first category, the packaging. This is my first Iron Man figure and my first die-cast figure. So this has been a real treat for me. Kind of feels like it's in style with the DX line, because there's a lot of attention that they give it, from the packaging to the actual figure and whatnot, which you'll see. But if you just take a look, it's got the design very similar to the rest of the Age of Ultron figures that they came out with. But obviously this is die-cast figure, and it's got a lot of metal on it, obviously, and a lot of weight to it. And they definitely had to come with a much stronger box, which they did on this. It's a really cool design, though. Obviously the Mark 45 is one of probably everyone's favorite suits. It's got the information here. I don't know what the D11 stands for. Obviously this is the movie Masterpiece Series 300. Maybe another reason why they went all out on it. But baby, got that movie Masterpiece Series diecast for the first time. Loving it. Anyways, let's look at the rest of this box. You got the top of it here. It's got the Avengers Age of Ultron logo. That's actually on the outside plastic clear box. Let's look at the side of it. We got the hand coming out. Pretty dope logo of Iron Man. You got the circuitry going around on the bottom part of the box. And you got all the figure information, everyone that made it. I'm sure everybody thanks them all. So I think I might be in love with the packaging on this figure. It's like I have a strange connection to it. Almost paranormal. Okay, so it's probably not paranormal, but it's more like a buddy-buddy thing, you know. Maybe I'll just keep all that to myself. Okay, but for reals, let's get into the review of the packaging. If I open it up, you're gonna have this awesome design style of a styrofoam box that houses the figure behind here. What I was very appreciative of is the fact that behind the figure is where the clamshell is for all the accessories that come with the figure. So you're gonna have the Ultron Sentry here. You're gonna have everything that comes with the base, the batteries, the screwdriver, and you're gonna have the fire blasters that come from his feet when he's in his flying pose. So it's a lot of stuff that it comes with right off the bat. You see that this is just behind it, let alone what's most important, which is of course the figure, and a really Hall of Armors kind of look to it for me. And it says Mark 45 on it. You know that there is just some epicness behind this piece. So let's get it open so everyone can see what's in store. And there's the figure in all its glory. It's got a battle damaged piece for his chest. Right there for you. You have repulsor hands. You have the articulated hands. You have an extra set underneath there as well, which we'll get into in the accessories, of course. But I mean, you open this up and look at it. I mean, it just, if you get closer, you could just see how amazing it looks, the details on it. You could see that they definitely protect it. They want to make sure that you get your figure in as pristine condition as humanly possible, and everybody appreciates that for the money they're putting into a figure like this. So thank you very much, Hot Toys. I'm really digging the entire package. Literally, the package of what it comes with. It's very similar to the DX style. It just screams, you know, attention to detail. You know, the figure alone, oh my goodness, I can't wait to get into that. But just the packaging that comes with it, you know that this is something special. And with my first diecast figure, I am super excited because I know that this is probably the top notch of their work. And can't wait to get into it and show you guys how this looks. But before I get into that, I gotta get the reviews in on this packaging. And from everything that I've been saying, I think it's pretty easy for me to give the packaging a 5 out of 5. I don't think there's really anyone that could disagree with that. What this comes with is incredible. It's a lot of care taken into this. It looks dope. Really unique, a lot different than any of the other figures. So yeah, this is definitely the easy 5 out of 5 for packaging. Now let's get into the likeness of the 45. Moving on to the likeness, and I'll let you guys decide for yourselves at first. You tell me, is this the Iron Man Mark 45, or is this the greatest figure you've ever seen? The answer is yes. At every vantage point, this figure looks absolutely incredible. Straight out of the movie. I can go on and on about the likeness on this figure, but I'd rather let the figure do the talking. From the back, to the sides, to the arms, the legs, every part of this figure has just an insane amount of details. It's got some battle damage on it, ever so slightly, but you could see the details. The paint apps on this figure is off the charts. This looks literally like Iron Man, just in a smaller scale, which is obviously what they're going for, and which is obviously what we've all wanted. Amazingness. So if it's not clear by now, then I don't know what to say. This figure is straight fire. Literally, he has fire on his hands, but the figure is just money in the bank. Just sick. I love it. The likeness is on point. It's an easy 5 out of 5 for the likeness. Moving on to the articulation, and this is where the figure is definitely just probably on another level from all the other Iron Man figures, I would imagine, because the engineering on this figure is just top notch. The elbows can adjust to, they basically pull out more so that you can get a 40-degree angle higher than what you normally would. So you can bend it at almost 90 degrees. You pull out the elbows and you can actually bend them to 120 degrees, which is pretty impressive for an Iron Man figure. If you could take a look here at the ab section, it actually separates there as well to get more mobility in the chest area or abdomen area. And I thought that was super cool. You actually can lift up so many different parts of this figure to allow for more posability. And posing is one of my favorite things out of the hobby of collecting these figures, and I just am in awe of the way that they designed this Iron Man. I've been told that this is definitely something new. The old figures were, I guess, more of a Stone Age where the mobility was very limited, and here you can actually, there's a button even behind, near his behind, that actually extends the legs out even further than I'm showing here. I mean, this figure can articulate to do really anything that you would want to do for an Iron Man figure. I just have him right now in this flying pose, kind of like similar to the Age of Ultron, where he's just destroying all the Ultron sentries. This just looks ridiculous, and I can only imagine how cool it'll look in my DTOF if I wanted to keep it this way. So, if I gotta rate this, I think I have to be fair, and I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 for the articulation, because for me it does anything that I wanted to do. But I've seen the prototype of the Mark 46, and it looks like there's actually even more articulation on that figure. So there can always be room for improvement, unless it's like right out of the park and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I think this one, I'm just going to give it a 4 out of 5, because it can do what we want it to, but there's still going to be limitations, especially with a metallic figure like this. So yeah, I think I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Moving on to the accessories, and as I've mentioned earlier, this figure packs a wallop. There's so much that it comes with. It's ridiculous. You got all the different interchangeable hands. You could see the battle damage chest piece right there. If I move down, actually have everything that it comes with here. You got your extra stand, which is for the non-flying pose. Love that. You got your batteries and your screwdrivers that come with it. You got all the different accessories that it comes with, the clean version. You got all the different hands. Kind of gone over that already, but I mean, look at this. This figure comes with a lot of good stuff. I'm heavy into accessories, especially for figures for these kinds of price at Hot Toys, so loving the fact that they came up with all of this. The Ultron Sentry I showed earlier, but just a lot of detail to it. It's even got movement on the arms, or the one arm, and on the head. You got the Iron Man figure that has everything that I'd ever want. Just some sick stuff. Just ridiculous. I don't know how they even packed all this in, but yeah, the accessories, I'm a big fan of what comes with this figure. So I think I'm gonna give this figure, I think I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 for the accessories. And the only reason why I'm gonna mark it down is because it does not come with a Tony Stark head. Luckily for us, there's always ways around that. Shout out to 1/6 Kit for the amazing 1/6 scale Tony Stark head sculpt that thankfully does fit on this figure. Basically, if no one knows where this head sculpt comes from, you guys can check it out at, I think it's 1/6 kit. Google that online. Very affordable price for an amazing likeness to Robert Downey Jr. Probably, I think, my favorite likeness to it. I'm sure you recognize it from the quarter scale Mark 43. It is just a 1/6 scale reproduced version of it, and it is sick. Literally, I'm gonna catch a fever or something. This is absolutely ridiculous. Alright, so for everybody that was keeping score, for the packaging, I gave this beast a 5 out of 5. For the likeness, I gave it another easy 5 out of 5. For the articulation, I gave it a 4 out of 5. And lastly, for the accessories, I gave it a 4 out of 5, which totals an 18 out of 20, which might be one of the highest rated figures that I have on my channel so far. This is just absolutely amazing. The fact that you can customize and get a Tony Stark head sculpt like this on an already basically perfect figure is astounding, and I highly recommend that anybody that is a fan of Iron Man, or that's ever even been interested in Hot Toys' Marvel figure, to pick this guy up. This is my first Marvel Hot Toys figure, and I don't know, it can only go down from here, right? Because this is basically almost a perfect figure. Alright, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed making it. This figure is probably the best figure that I have now in my collection, and even if it's not my favorite character, even though it's a top one, I mean, it's just that great of a figure. This is the sickest collectible in my collection right now. Just one last shout out to my boy Sexy Dave again for letting me review it in his awesome man cave. This is an awesome setup to do these reviews, so I really appreciate him letting me come through and review these figures so that hopefully you guys can enjoy them as much as I enjoy them. So until the next time, which hopefully will be soon, keep it locked on this channel because there's always another review coming. Peace.